The quid pro quo relationship. If you want to take 1% of my pension pickup, then you've got to give me a raise to offset what you've taken. So I really think that when the city decided to do pension pickups, it was because the city used a different economy. They were looking out for the treasury, and the employees were taking a short-term fix. So I would respectfully ask to reconsider this, because in my opinion, it is not going to have a benefit in collective bargaining. If I were on the other end of the table and you wanted my pension pickup, my comment would be, I'd love to give it to you. No, what are you giving me in return?
May I respond?
Yes.
Again, I discussed this matter, as I think others, members of council, had with the city auditor. I disagree with your final analysis respectfully. You certainly have a lot more experience than I do in your previous career with the city, but we had a very good result, all things considered. I mean, it's a shame. I mean, it's an absolute shame that we have to ask healthcare costs are going up, and we have to ask employees to shoulder more of that. It's immoral in this country. But we're faced with a shrinking revenue base. I mean, we have to do something to demonstrate to the public that we are sharing the pain tonight. Garbage tax just got extended for 3 years. I would think that this would be a good faith effort on all of our parts to show that we're willing to accept some pain as well.
And I respect, Councilman Salazi, your position on this. But I can tell you from health insurance is totally a different situation than pension pickup. There's no relationships between the two. When you go to the bargaining table and you're talking about health insurance and you're talking about your share of the premium and your share of the whatever the standard of benefits are, this is apples and oranges. It's not the same thing.
Thank you, Mr. President, and Councilman colleagues. I have immense respect for your understanding of the negotiating process, and agree that I don't necessarily think that this cut would do anything at the bargaining table. However, I do think it could have an effect on the fact finder. Last year, when council started contributing to its health care, and then didn't pass some of these collective bargaining agreements that were presented to us, and it went to fact finder, that was the first thing they looked at. They said, even council is contributing towards health care. We're going to need to see some more contributions from the bargaining unit. So I do think this, while it may not affect the bargaining table, does have an implication before the arbitrator. And the fact of the matter is, the economic times are bad. If there's nothing left to take, if there's nothing left for an increase, I think this does help the administration when it goes to the table. And ultimately, at the table, we're beyond. Thank you.
Councilwoman Short?
I believe that the matter was settled by sort of some number of years ago. But what happened when we're talking about giving back this particular area, what's going to happen is that we're going to the bargaining table, and as he said, what are you going to give us?
Thank you. I couldn't let this one go without commenting, obviously. Again, I always believe in everybody understanding the effect of what you're considering and what could occur. A little bit of history. What you pay people in the exempt ranks of the city of Toledo right now is, and we have verification, much lower than what you can get in other cities for the same positions. We have that fact. It is difficult for the city of Toledo right now to recruit for the exempt level positions from within our ranks. And I know this from firsthand experience, asking people in our ranks to step up and be a manager or a commissioner administrator. And after they get done laughing, because you're essentially asking them to take a reduction in pay, no overtime pay, longer hours, and additional responsibility, and you're going to pay them less to do it. You're in that position right now. There are several commissioners and managers that are in the city, and directors, making less than the unionized workforce and the people that are in the unionized ranks. Now, first of all, we have to get over that because that's the way it is. And those of us who are in the exempt ranks, we do that. We get over it. You asked us to, and we offered, not that we wanted to, but we offered to do the medical premium copay last year, so we're doing that. We're paying medical premium copays as exempts. You asked us to do that, we did that. We put in fairly long hours. As you know, we go with you to meetings and so forth outside of our normal working hours when the rest of our folks get to go home and spend time with their families and do volunteer work and work with other agencies. We go to those meetings with you, and we don't get paid to do that. So actually, if you look at it on an hour-by-hour basis on what we make, we're even significantly below what we make, or what the people that work for us make. Next, I believe the PERS contribution that is paid by employees as exempts, we pay less of a percentage of that than do the unionized ranks. So top that off now. We've been asked to make all these sacrifices and be the leaders as exempts, and then to read in the paper that the county is increasing their wages by 10% in a tough budget year, and the reason is because they took on more work. Now, we've been taking on more work for 15 or 20 years, and most of the people in the exempt ranks have never gotten a raise in 6 years, in 7 years. We don't get the 1, 2, 3% that the unionized ranks get, so we're not taking that. We don't get that raise. So the point is that I'm asking now to consider is, how much are you willing to continue to put on the backs of those that put the most hours in this city and don't get paid for it? That are at this point before they're willing to say, that's enough. I mean, we've had enough. We've been beaten enough. You know, we worked hard enough for this city, and we sacrificed our personal lives for this city. And if council wants to tell us that we want more from you, that's going to be something that we're going to have to consider as exempt people on whether or not it's worth it. I guess my last comment's somewhat sarcastic, but just to think about it, and I got to say it. The question is, how will this affect our bargaining position at the table? And my answer to you is, first of all, you have to decide whether there be somebody on our side at the table. And I'm serious. I'm serious, because we're going to put in long hours negotiating contracts for the next 2 years. Are you going to do this to the exempt, the people that are going to be sitting at that table, and then expect us to put the long hours in for less pay and less compensation? I just ask you to consider that. And again, I apologize for getting a little bit higher than normal, but I had to make a comment. Thank you.